Well, first of all, Molly, I appreciate the leading the witness and stuff like that. In this particular instance, is absolutely apropos. But I must challenge you. I mean, I think that there is video evidence of me saying this and
okay,
arguing with a bunch of our pundits that were sitting there talking to me. You know, what? Well, I mean, you don't change. You don't make a change. You leave Justin Fields in. What did I say? What did I say? I think I know what I said because I was there when I said it. But before I even go any further, Mr. Dan Orlovsky, one of his Dan Orlovskis, which is a boring name for a segment, by the way. This dude was arguing with me last week, Shay, was arguing with me last week, Teddy Bruschi, and then I texted him last night at midnight, and he had attitude. Could you put up the text exchange on the screen, please, so everybody can see it? I had to put him up there. I texted him last night regarding my Steelers as a starter. Listen, you were saying something. You got one right in 3 years. Relax.
Wow.
He's never come at me like that. Dan Orlovsky was very sensitive. He was very hostile and assertive towards me. That's being assertive if you're Dan Orlovsky. That's usually not like him, guys. That's usually not like him. But when you're so flagrantly wrong, you understand? Sometimes it hits you. It pitches you a little bit harder than you would like. And by the way, I texted him at midnight because I knew he likes to get to bed early. You understand? He likes to go to sleep early. You understand? Because he's an early bird.
He responded,
He's
though.
that corny kind of dude. He ain't no late night. He don't have late night in him. That's why he reacted that way, because he knew I ruined his night, because I like, yo, you was talking, and what happens? Russell Wilson goes out there and balls out 264 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown run. We got it that it was helped by Aaron Rodgers and a couple of interceptions. Garrett Wilson dropping that ball right in his chest. I got that part. But here's the thing. Did y'all know, Teddy and Shay, that Russell Wilson has thrown a touchdown in the last 20 games that he has played? It's the longest active streak in the National Football League. Did you know? Because this is the same dude that had 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. I know he was god-awful his first year in Denver with Nathaniel, and he let his ego get the better of him because he showed up in the Mile High City with Sierra and thought he had the town in the palm of his hands, that he had to go out there and play football and didn't do it that well. But last year, he was actually doing well. Had a 5-game winning streak, but Sean Payton and them turned against him because they didn't want to pay him that $39 million. So I said, yo, I don't care what you're seeing from Justin Fields. It's not that great where you could look at him and say he's automatically your starting quarterback. Not to forget the fact that Mike Tomlin thought that Russell Wilson was going to be his starter until he sustained the injury. And then Justin Fields was inserted in there. So it was never a surprise that Russell Wilson was going to get his shot to show what he was as in a Steelers uniform. I was just surprised that everybody was so resistant to it, acting like Justin Fields was the second coming of Dan Marino. That's not what we saw. And Russell Wilson reminded us of that last night by doing what he did.
Yeah, I was for this move. I argued with Rex on Countdown yesterday, who thought it was a bad move because, I just thought that Mike Tomlin's he's thinking about the Baltimores. He's thinking about all of these division games coming up, these AFC teams they will score points on his defense, and he will have to play catch up with the passer. And in terms of Russell's streak, Stephen A., that 20 straight games with a touchdown pass, this year, there was only 1 touchdown pass to a wide receiver from Justin Fields in 6 games. 1 touchdown pass. Last night there were 2 to these wide receivers. So these wide receivers are looking at potential of finally I'm getting my chance maybe to do some things with a passer. That's what all this is for. This is what Mike Tomlin is just so good at. It's why he's a great coach. It's why the Steelers are who they are. This was the contrast of the Steelers versus the New York Jets, and why I thought it was so fascinating to watch, because both teams are going through the same things, but there's culture in the black and gold, there's coaching in the black and gold, and there's continuity that you know how your coaches are going to react, what your leadership's going to do, and the defense knew that they had to pick up Russell Wilson. Did you see Mike Tomlin's reaction to Russell Wilson's start? It looked like he was about to pull him. He started Justin Fields warming up on the sideline. So Russ even was threatening that game, and I love it because he knows he has 2 good quarterbacks.
Culture set by the coach, because they had a lot of changes there as well.
That's right,
Shannon?
Yeah, I was one that was resistant to this move because I thought Justin Fields had played well enough. And I think the thing is,
yes,
Eddie,
you've
been in situations with Tom. You don't allow the quarterback to do a whole lot. We're going to run the football. We're going to play outstanding defense, and we need you to make 1 or 2 throws a game. Now, if you tell me The Steelers are going to do what they did last night. Run the football with Najee Harris to the tune of 5 yards a carry. The defense was going to get 2 takeaways. They were going to block. I would say, you know what? Justin Fields would have won that game also. But give Russell his credit. I'm huge on giving the guy credit. He put the ball. George Pickens made outstanding plays. Freiermuth made a one-handed catch for 30 yards up the rail, Stephen A. The guys made plays. This was the first time that I think they made a concerted effort to try to get George Pickens the ball. And they did it getting it to him early. A lot of times when you're dealing with these 1A receivers, you got to get them the ball early in the ball game. Y'all wait till the second half, the third quarter, the fourth, and expect him to be Hercules. Give him the ball early. Let him feel it. Let him touch it. Okay, they got me the rest of the game. They're going to give me opportunity to make plays. And these guys will normally make plays. Give Russ his credit. He played really well last night once he got it going. And once he got it going, he still has that ability. But if you tell me the Steelers are going to run the ball like they ran it, they're going to play special teams like they played it, and the defense has been the defense all year, I'm going to tell you the Steelers are going to be there in the end when it's all said and done.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, nobody's expected to be Hercules but you, Mr. Hulk. That's number one. Let's get that out of the way. You're the only person that's expected to be Hercules.
Step
Okay?
your game
Your
up.
big ass self. Okay, that's number one. Number two, and most importantly, if we're gonna give love to the Steelers, we got to give love to one person in particular, Beanie Bishop. Beanie Bishop.
Great
2
player.
interceptions.
He played well.
2
Great
passes
plays. Great plays. Yeah.
defended.
Yeah.
6 tackles. He was arguably the MVP of last night's game, in spite of how Russell Wilson played. We can't forget that.
Yeah, can I say one quick thing about Russell Wilson? I would say that he made the throws, but I would say he got bailed out by his receivers on a few throws too. I mean, they weren't the best
guys make some
throws.
hell of a catches.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yes, he did.
Absolutely. So I would say Justin Fields, stay ready now.
Yep.
Stay ready because I've seen bad Russ too, and this it can happen. Yeah,
Absolutely. Shay?
But Mike Tomlin, guys, Teddy, you know this. He took a huge risk.
Right.
And he said he was the Lone Ranger on this decision. Man, you could lose a locker room real quick because Justin Fields has ingratiated himself in that locker room, and his teammates feel he's played well enough to stay in the role that he was currently in. Mike Tomlin says, yeah, he's playing well, but I believe we can get a little better play at that position, and it'll make our job as a team a little easier. This was a huge decision that he made, and right now it's paying off for him.
Paid off. Stephen A.?
I will say this very last comment about Mike Tomlin, and then we can move on. It's a damn shame that he faces the scrutiny that he faces. We can certainly ask questions. We can certainly look at it and wonder whether we would do it or not. But for this man to be a head coach in the National Football League 17 years and never, ever once have a losing season, with some of the rosters that he's had available to him and some of the absence of expectations he's faced and he's exceeded and overachieved, it's a damn shame that after all of this time with all that he's done, making a decision like this faced so much scrutiny. I didn't hear too many people saying, you know what, it's Mike Tomlin. Let's see. He deserved the benefit of the doubt.
Anyone's
a lot of people
earned
didn't
it,
give that
certainly
to
him.
They should
Nope.
today.
You're absolutely right. All right, guys, so much more football to get into. How about the NFC North, Teddy? My goodness. The Lions, Vikings, Jordan Love led the Packers to a win versus the Texans yesterday. But are these two quarterbacks in the same